Hello all, welcome to Advanced Statistics module. In this module, we'll cover analysis of variance, linear regression analysis, principal component analysis, and factor analysis. These techniques are extensively applied in the analytics industry. They constitute the bedrock of the analytics industry. Let's take some examples. A simple example is that a marketing manager wants to understand whether giving discounts to customers is increasing the sales or not. Let's say, for example, he wants to understand 10% discount level is good, or 20% discount level is good, or 30% discount level is good. Which of these levels would increase the sales? Or do they have any effect on sales at all? How do you answer this question? So perhaps you would look at a tool called as analysis of variance. Similarly, if you want to understand what channels are giving you the highest revenue in terms of increase in revenue, say you're advertising your product over TV, newspaper, digital channels, and you want to understand which channel is giving you more revenue, then perhaps you would look at a mix of tools like ANOVA as well as regression analysis. Say, for example, you want to rate sports players. Let's say, for example, you want to rate the IPL batsmen or the IPL bowlers. Say, for example, in the case of a batsman, you can think of all the things about cricket in terms of, say, for example, how much the batsman has scored, what is the strike rate, the number of 50s, the number of hundreds, the number of fours, the number of sixes. This all constitutes the data. And given this data, you will have to now understand how do I rate the batsman. Okay? In such a scenario, you would be applying a particular tool called as principal component analysis. This particular tool is extensively applied in rating cities, their living conditions, or human development indices. So many other fields this particular technique can be applied. But if you want to talk about sports analytics and want to rate players, and ratings implies more money for players, right? So sports analytics is something, if you are interested in, you can apply all these concepts in there too. Okay, now say for example you want to understand how people are perceiving my brand. Okay, uh, your brand has certain attributes, and how people rate your brand on those attributes is something also very important for you. Let's take an example of automobile industry, in which there are several cars, starting from luxurious cars to a regular, a family car kind of a cars too we can think of. Let's say, for example, a family car typically constitutes what do you say is safe, economical, low maintenance, and reliable. Okay, these are the characteristics with which we want to describe a family car. So now, how is your brand being perceived given a set of attributes like low maintenance, economical, reliable, sportsy, outdoorsy, rugged, and luxurious? Where exactly your brand is being positioned by in the minds of the customer? If you want to understand how is your brand being perceived, you would want to learn techniques like factor analysis. Okay, so here in this particular module, we'll be covering techniques that would help you in gaining some extra edge over others, so that when you apply these, when you demonstrate your skills or in these techniques in the industry, you would obviously kind of get have a better edge over the rest. We can think of even more examples. Let's say, for example, in the field of finance, how do you apply these concepts? In the field of marketing, how do you apply these concepts? In the field of crime, how do you apply these concepts? Remember, crime is also becoming another highly potential industry for analytics. Okay. So, health industry, How do we apply these concepts? So this particular tools are not industry or sector specific, but they are broadly applied everywhere. Let's talk about finance example. In the case of finance example, you want to see how the interest rates on a 1-year instrument, 2-year instrument, 3-year instrument, 4-year instrument in the debt market are related. How are those interest rates moving? Which of those instruments are moving together? Which of those instruments are not moving together? Or some kind of an idea that you want to have about interest rates on these instruments. What do you do is you run a model called as principal component analysis. Okay, so everywhere these techniques are applied, and sometimes the output of these models is taken as input to other models. Let's say, for example, in the case of principal component analysis, in the case of factor analysis, you get an output called as principal component scores and factor scores, which you use in say, for example, clustering analysis, or say, for example, in regression analysis again, and so on and so forth.